Hi, and welcome to this live reading from Deja Brew All Over Again by Sylvie Stewart. And this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Chapter 1, Best Carjacking Ever, Miller. If I see you in my courtroom again, we'll be having a very different conversation. You hear me? Yes, Your Honor, I responded in my most solemn tone. Does she think I enjoy being here? The judge's attention thankfully shifts to the next poor fuck up. Next case. I waste no time hauling ass out of the courtroom, Luca on my heels. Good call on the jacket, man. His voice echoes off the stone walls and ornate ceiling of the cavernous hall. The dude up next is wearing a shirt that says, Jesus, keep my beard soft. I'm guessing he'll be out in 20 to life. Luca and my best friend Dax are the only ones I even told about my hearing today, and for good reason. Had the judge sent me to jail, there's no possible way I could have handled the disappointment on my family's faces. Classic Miller, fucking shit up again. It always feels good to know you're not the biggest shithead in the room. I glance around, trying to remember which door I came in earlier. My nerves were so jacked, I'm surprised I was able to drive. We should celebrate. Tell your brothers you got off. Luca Carmichael is not my brother, technically speaking, but he may as well be. I've known him all my life and lived next door to him until he got his own place a few years back. But there's a reason I asked him, and not anyone else in my family, to come today. Luca is always chill, no matter what. And hey, I needed somebody to pass my mama's car keys off to if I was sent to the clink. I let out a breath it feels like I've been holding for a month. Nah, I'm good. I shoot him a lift of my chin. Thanks for coming, man. He nods, his messy dark hair falling into his eyes. Physically, Luca is a male carbon copy of his Italian mom, Adrina. She's got the same dark hair and eyes with a semi-permanent tan. In all other aspects, he's the polar opposite. No sweat. See? Totally chill. We do a bro hug with the obligatory back thump, and he takes off to an exit at the side of the main hall. I glance around again, finally orienting myself. Oh, damn, I could use a smoke right now, but like an idiot, I quit. Even Dax's sticky finger discount cigarettes cut into my bike fund, and I'm not getting careless now, especially with this $1,000 fine I've just been handed. A $1,000 fine and 60 hours of community service, all because of that fuckwad Driscoll. The guy was following me, and I'm the one who gets arrested. The system sucks. Okay, fine. So I ran from the police, which wasn't the wisest thing to do. But I've already got a record, and I didn't need to court the attention of the cops or have to explain what I was doing on Ian Driscoll's property. Turns out running from the police, even if you were only trespassing a little bit, is considered a Class 2 misdemeanor. Who fucking knew? To give my hands something to do without a cigarette, I pull a collection of jewelry from my pants pocket. Even I know not to walk into court with a half dozen earrings and an eyebrow barbell in place. The tongue stud stayed, but that was just because I knew I'd be keeping my mouth shut as much as possible. Heading for the wide front doors of the county courthouse, I replaced the studs and rings in my ears, ignoring all the people brushing past me on the checked tiles. The hearing didn't take as long as I thought, so I've got over an hour to kill before I'm due at the brewery. I work for two of my older brothers, Carter and Cash, at their craft brewery and taproom in the River Arts District here in Asheville. Working at Blue Bigfoot Beer is a pretty sweet gig considering I get to drink for free, and there are always plenty of hot girls to hold my attention. I didn't allow myself to think about how to break it to my brothers had I been heading to jail instead of work this afternoon, so it's a good thing I got off with the punishment I did. I should have known it was good luck when I got a parking spot right across the street from the courthouse this morning. The scorching summer sun blazes right through the navy sports coat I borrowed from Carter, and by borrowed I mean took without asking. So I peel it from my shoulders as I jog across Court Plaza to Mama's Hyundai and climb in. I snatch my hand back from the steering wheel when the fiery vinyl burns my palm. The key slides into the ignition and I start her up, cranking the AC as soon as the engine catches. Blinking at Pack Square Park through the windshield, I take a second. Oh, that was too damn close, you idiot. And now I'm talking to myself. I shake my head and put the Hyundai in reverse before checking over my shoulder for cars. But my field of vision is consumed by an enormous, puffy white cloud. What the? The passenger door flies open, and a girl in a gigantic white puffball of a dress dives into the seat, slamming the door behind her and yelling, "Drive! Just drive!" When I look behind me again, two men in fancy-ass suits are running toward the car, and instinct takes over. Shouting rich dudes running my way cannot be good news, so I slam the car in drive and hop the curb, nearly taking out a bush as we bump over the sidewalk and around two other parked cars until I thump back down on the street and take off. Keep going, the girl demands, batting white frou-frou shit from her face as she twists to watch out the back window. Who am I to say no? I swing a right on College and haul ass until I'm sure we're far enough away to evade the suits. When I glance over, the girl is biting her lip hard, eyes still glued to the back window and a sharp furrow to her brow. You know, they have this thing called Uber, Lyft, too, although it's kind of the Pepsi to Uber's Coke. It still works, though. It takes her another few seconds to acknowledge me, and when her eyes finally shift to mine, the breath is knocked right out of my lungs. 1 minute, I'm sitting here doing the whole easy exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, and the next, there's a vice around my larynx telling me I'm fucked. Thank you, she says, but I barely hear her. Do you think you can drop me a few blocks down so I have a good head start? I only nod because it's difficult to talk when you can't breathe. We'll be lucky if I can keep us from crashing into a tree with how distracting her beauty is. What the hell did I do? She settles forward in the passenger seat, covering her face with her hands. I'm somewhat relieved to find I'm not the only one talking to myself today. Knowing I won't do her any good if I keel over dead at the wheel, I suck in a lungful of air and shift my eyes to the car in front of me. I never get tongue-tied around hot women. I mean, never. Mama says I was a flirt from the womb, just like my old man, so I'm determined to snap out of it, if for no other reason than me flirting with a girl in a wedding dress would undoubtedly have my dad laughing his ass off. She continues her one-woman monologue. I'll tell you what I did. I screwed myself. That's what I did. I see her hands flapping around in my peripheral vision. It was 2 words. 2 words. And I couldn't even say them. I do. See? Easy, right? Since I don't appear to be a necessary factor in her conversation, I keep my mouth shut. Right? She asks again, and I automatically turn to her. She's fucking gorgeous. Long, almost black hair spilling over her shoulders, captivating eyes so dark they match her hair, and lips so plump and perfect that they'd be the envy of any Hollywood starlet out there. The dress has a modest neckline, and there's so much white fabric it billows up to her chin, so her face is all I can see, but I bet my ass her body is banging. I realize she's still waiting for my answer, so I respond. The words might be short, but though I'd say they're anything but easy. She blinks at me for a second before exhaling and collapsing back into the seat. I keep on driving. Maybe the groom cheated on her, or he was abusive, or he's just a boring motherfucker. Anyway you slice it, she doesn't have to marry him, so she shouldn't have to. I can get out here, the girl says when we come to a red light, beginning to gather up the yards of fabric spilling over her lap in the center console. I'm not dropping you off on a street corner in that dress. Just tell me where you want to go and I'll take you. I may be a fuck up, but I'd like to think I'm not a complete degenerate. Her eyes move to me again, and it's as if she only just now realized she's in a car with a complete stranger. She scans my face first before her gaze drops to take in my dress shirt and pressed trousers. I bite my cheek to keep from laughing because God is definitely screwing with me. On a good day, my duds consist of ripped jeans, dirty Converse, and whatever t-shirt doesn't smell like ass. She just happened to catch me on the only day I combed my hair and wore real clothes in the last 5 years. You don't look dangerous. I mean, and I was the one who broke into your car after all. She bites her lip again, and I can feel it in my dick, but I'm doing my best to ignore it. I promise I'm not a felon, I reassure her, telling the truth. Of course, I leave out the part where I have more than one misdemeanor conviction, and it's been only a month since I was tackled to the ground by 2 police officers. I consider it an admission more than a lie. She must be in dire straits because she sighs and lets her dress poof out again. Thank you. That's really nice of you. I'm Maisy. Her lips finally curve up into a small smile, and I know right then and there that my life is about to get a hell of a lot messier than it already is.